There's something you never get back. Something more expensive than failure, more fatal than fear, more powerful than talent. It's time, the silent currency of your life. And every single second is being spent. The only question is, are you investing it or wasting it? Because whether you rise or remain, whether you build or break, whether you thrive or disappear quietly into the crowd, will be determined by how you manage time. And the truth is, time isn't the problem. You have enough time. 24 hours, the same as every legend who ever lived. The problem is attention. The problem is intention. The problem is what you're allowing to steal the most sacred currency you'll ever hold. You don't need more hours. You need more ownership. Because time is not something you spend when convenient. It's something you command. And if you don't learn to command your time, the world will consume it for you. Every scroll is a withdrawal. Every meaningless conversation is a withdrawal. Every hour spent chasing dopamine instead of destiny is a permanent theft from the life you could have built. And once it's gone, it's gone. No refunds, no do-overs, only regrets for those who never learned how to lead their life on purpose. So how do the great ones do it? How do the high performers, the unstoppable, the producers of massive impact, manage time without wasting it? They don't just fill a calendar. They own a rhythm. They build systems. They protect their focus like it's sacred, because it is. And it starts with a ruthless, unapologetic mindset shift. You stop asking, what do I have time for? You start asking, what must get done for me to live aligned with the future I'm creating? That question changes everything. It deletes distractions. It filters your yes. It activates a version of you that doesn't just survive the day, but designs it. The successful don't manage time. They multiply it. They create leverage. They don't wake up reacting. They wake up with ritual, not from a place of rigidity, but from reverence. Because they understand that every block of time is an altar. And what you sacrifice on that altar determines what you experience in your life. Want peace? Then schedule it. Want freedom? Then earn it through structure. Want success? Then build days that make it inevitable. Start by killing the myth of multitasking. You are not meant to divide your genius across 5 apps, 3 conversations, and 10 browser tabs. You are meant to go deep, to focus with intensity, to move with clarity, to lock into one thing and extract every ounce of excellence out of it. Because depth creates mastery. And mastery is what creates speed in the long run. You want to stop wasting time? Then stop letting shallow tasks steal your peak energy. Stop giving your highest hours to your lowest value tasks. Protect your mornings. Defend your deep work like a warrior. Build a fortress around the first 2 hours of your day, because how you start is how you scale. And this isn't about being busy. Busy is a trap. Busy is a disguise. Busy feels productive, but it's usually just motion without direction. You don't need motion. You need movement with meaning, with map, with mission. That means every minute must serve the vision. Every task must earn its way onto your calendar. Every person must deserve your time or be denied it without apology. Not from arrogance, but from alignment. Because when you know what matters, you stop giving time to what doesn't. Then let's keep going, because time doesn't slow down for those who hesitate. It only honors those who move with authority. You see, once you've taken back your mornings, once you've cut the noise, blocked the leeches, shut down the open loops, you still have to do one thing most people avoid their whole lives. Decide. Decide what matters most. Because not everything is equal. Not every task deserves the same energy. Not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose. Time management without clarity is just chaos with a planner. You must decide with ruthless clarity what moves the needle, what creates the most value, what builds the most momentum, what aligns the most with who you're becoming. And when you know that, your calendar becomes sacred ground. You don't fill your day with tasks. You design your day with targets, outcomes, non-negotiables, battles worth winning. 3 to 5, no more. 3 to 5 moves per day that, if executed relentlessly, create more progress than 100 scattered motions. Because the person who tries to do everything ends up doing nothing that matters. But the one who focuses like a sniper builds legacies. So, structure your day like an empire. Morning for momentum, midday for mastery, evening for review and recalibration. You don't end the day by collapsing into your bed from exhaustion. You end it by closing the loop with excellence. What did I win today? What needs to shift tomorrow? What did I learn? And how will I use it? That simple review, that sacred 5 minutes of reflection, turns scattered effort into strategic momentum. And when you do that consistently, days become weeks. Weeks become empires. And time begins to submit to your structure. Because here's the secret. You don't manage time. You manage your energy inside of time. And when your energy is directed by discipline, when your focus is directed by clarity, when your decisions are directed by purpose, time becomes your servant, not your master. You don't run out of time. You run it. You command it. You use it with precision. And in doing so, you begin to create what most people only fantasize about. A life that reflects your vision, not your distractions. This is how you stop wasting time. You stop living on autopilot. You stop waiting to feel inspired. You stop responding to life like a slave to circumstance. You wake up and you lead your day like it was designed for kings. Then let the final words strike deep, because this is the moment you stop running from your power and start walking in it. Understand this. You are not here to manage time. You are here to master it, to mold it, to lead it like a general leads an army with intention, with strategy, with unbreakable clarity. The reason most people stay broke isn't lack of money. It's lack of focus. The reason most people stay tired isn't lack of energy. It's lack of direction. And the reason most people die with regret isn't lack of talent. It's because they let their time be eaten alive by things that didn't matter. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you see time for what it really is. Not hours. Access. Not minutes. Moments of transformation. Not a clock ticking down, but opportunity disguised as ordinary. You were given a life not to spend it counting time, but to make your time count. So stop saying, I'm busy. Start saying, I'm building. Stop saying, I don't have time. Start saying, I don't make time for things that don't build my legacy. You are not a manager of time. You are a leader of your destiny. And the way you schedule your day is the way you shape your future. From now on, your calendar is a declaration. Your habits are your vote. Your daily rhythm is your resume. And every moment, every single breath is either wasted in distraction or invested in greatness. So no more drifting, no more reacting, no more waiting for the world to give you permission. Wake up early, set the tone, move with intensity, build in silence, protect your focus like gold, design your life like an architect of destiny, because time is not your enemy. Time is not your excuse. Time is not your weakness. Time is your test. And from this moment forward, you don't live by the clock. You live by calling. Let the world watch. Let the hours pass. Let the noise try to distract you. But you rise. You own every moment. And you make time bow to you. Wealth, real wealth, is not found in the bank account. It's not parked in the driveway or hanging in the closet. It's built in the mind long before it's manifested in the world. But here's the truth they never told you. You don't just get rich. You become rich, and not by accident. You build it brick by brick with sweat, obsession, and relentless alignment. The world will tell you to work hard, but hard work alone is not enough. Ants work hard. Machines work hard. Hard work without direction is just exhaustion dressed in ambition's clothes. You want wealth? Then you have to decide. Not wish, not hope. Decide to live a life that defies average. Because everything changes the day you stop asking, how can I make more money? It's like Rohn. And start asking, what kind of person must I become to attract the life I crave? It starts in the mind. Your mindset is the seed of your wealth. Plant poverty, and you'll harvest just enough to survive. Plant power, and you'll reap beyond generations. So what do you believe about money? About work? About yourself? Because no strategy in the world will save you if deep down you believe you're not worthy of abundance. You have to reprogram the story. Wealth is not evil. Desire is not greed. And wanting more is not selfish. It's sacred. Because when good people get rich, they don't buy bigger problems. They build bigger solutions. But you'll never attract wealth with a poverty mindset. You'll never step into freedom if your soul still clings to limitation. And you'll never earn what your identity cannot handle. So if you want to motivate yourself to work hard, don't just chase income, chase inner calibration. Wake up every day and ask, what version of me must show up today to build the future I said I wanted yesterday? That question alone is worth millions. Because motivation doesn't come from quotes. It comes from clarity. If your vision is vague, your drive will drown. But if your vision is crystal, if it lives in your bones, if you've tasted the freedom, the impact, the legacy, then work doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like worship. You stop grinding and you start building. You stop pushing and you start aligning. You stop needing a reason because you are the reason. But let's be clear. Wealth is not owed to you. It doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to intensity. It demands sacrifice. You will have to let go of what is easy. You will have to walk away from people who love your comfort but fear your growth. You will have to kill distractions like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day, you are either investing in your future or robbing it. There is no neutral. There is no pause. Time doesn't wait, and neither does success. So what are you choosing? Comfort or conviction? Distraction or direction? Pleasure or purpose? You think you need motivation. You don't. You need a reason, a fire, a vision that makes your excuses beg for mercy. You want wealth? Here's the truth. You must earn the right to handle it. Not by waiting, but by working intentionally, intensely, and relentlessly. And the moment you make that shift, the world starts to respond. Opportunities bend in your direction. Doors appear where there were only walls. And money becomes a servant to your vision, not the other way around. Because this is where it gets real, where desire meets demand, and your dreams are tested in the fire of daily choices. You want to be rich? Not just rich in money, but rich in freedom, rich in influence, rich in life. Then understand this. You must become a different breed. Most people want more, but they're still thinking like the poor, still moving like the comfortable, still living like they have forever. But wealth doesn't come to the wishful. It comes to the warrior, the one who wakes up and declares, I don't work to survive, I work to dominate. Because domination is not about greed. It's about mastery. Mastery over your time. Mastery over your emotion. Mastery over your direction. Every day, ask yourself, am I working to escape my current life or to build the one I can't wait to wake up in? Because if your fuel is just fear, stress, or obligation, you will burn out. But if your fuel is vision, if it's that sacred picture of your family never having to worry again, of your days being yours, of your name being whispered in rooms you've never entered, then you'll move with fire. You'll go beyond tired. You'll push past fear. You'll build when everyone else is binging, because you know something they don't. You are not just working for money. You are working to become a magnet, a force, a standard. You are working to earn the future. And that means you show up even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because feelings are liars. They want safety. They want comfort. They want applause. But wealth doesn't show up in applause. It shows up in alignment. It shows up when you stop being casual with your potential. Think about it. What would happen if you lived for the next 90 days like your financial breakthrough depended on today? No waiting, no whining, just war. You'd wake up with precision. You'd cut the distractions. You'd train like a soldier. You'd sell like a leader. You'd build like you were chosen, because you are. This path, it doesn't require you to be perfect. It requires you to be obsessed. Obsessed with becoming better. Obsessed with stretching further. Obsessed with doing the things nobody sees. So one day, you can live in a way nobody believes. So stop negotiating with laziness. Stop flirting with mediocrity. Stop acting like you have time. You are in the middle of the window right now. The sacred window. The one between who you are and who you could be. And it's closing. Slowly. Every minute. Every hour. Every excuse. So rise. Rise into the man or woman who doesn't need motivation, because they are led by mission. And when you are mission-led, you don't just attract wealth. You become it. Then lock in, because we're only just approaching the depth where destiny lives. This isn't just about making money. This is about making yourself, the kind of self that commands a life others only dream about. Because wealth isn't chasing you. It's hiding behind the discipline you've been avoiding. It's behind the early mornings you keep snoozing, the deep work you keep delaying, the bold decisions you keep shrinking away from. You want to be wealthy? Then you have to learn how to confront yourself, not occasionally, daily. Look yourself in the mirror and ask, did I work today like someone who expects millions? Did I create, lead, and move like someone who refuses to be average? Or did I coast? Did I comply? Did I let life lead me instead of leading it? Wealth doesn't respond to busyness. It responds to boldness. And boldness lives where most people never dare to go, right through the middle of fear. That's why wealth building is not for the weak. It's for the focused, the obsessed, the rare few who know that pressure is not a problem, it's a platform. Every challenge is training. Every failure is refinement. Every delay is designed to deepen your fire. Because wealth isn't something you earn just with hours. You earn it with identity. You become someone who must be rewarded. Because your value is so high, your standards are so locked in, and your vision is so alive that the world can't help but respond. This is why average people will never understand you. They'll say, why are you working so hard? They'll say, you should slow down. Take it easy. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They don't need what you need. You're not building this for a car, not for applause. You're building this for freedom, for impact, for the peace that comes when you own your time, when you walk into rooms and don't have to ask anyone for anything. That's the fire. That's the why. Not just to get rich, but to never feel powerless again. Because when you master your work ethic, when you turn effort into identity, when you out-discipline your doubt, you stop chasing success and success starts chasing you. So, how do you motivate yourself to work hard toward wealth? You don't wait to feel inspired. You decide that your future is non-negotiable. And then you work like your freedom is on the line, because it is. You work like a man possessed. You move like a woman on fire. You build like a soul who's tired of scarcity, tired of pretending, tired of being something less than what they were born to be. You don't need hype. You need conviction. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a perfect decision. And that decision is made in this moment. To stop playing small, to stop waiting, to stop hoping, and to build the version of you that earns everything you once begged for. Then let's keep going, because you weren't made for halfway. You weren't made for mediocrity, for comfort, for someday. You were made to rise, to create wealth not just with your hands, but with your character. Because real wealth isn't in what you own, it's in who you are when no one's looking. It's in your habits. It's in your hunger. It's in your standards. And most people, they don't lack talent. They don't lack time. They lack standards. They accept average work. They accept average effort. They accept average results. But not you. You're not here to make a living. You're here to make a mark. And that means one thing. Every day is a test of will, a test of focus, a test of whether you're willing to outgrow your old self. Because wealth doesn't come to the version of you that wants it. It comes to the version of you that's worthy of it. And worthiness isn't inherited, it's earned. So stop trying to get rich on a mindset built for survival. Stop trying to succeed with routines built for escape. Stop trying to build a legacy on the schedule of someone who's still just trying. This is not about trying. It's about becoming, and becoming is painful. It requires the death of who you've been. The death of old habits, old excuses, old stories that say, I'm not ready. I'm not smart enough. I'm not like them. Yes, you are. You're exactly like them if you're willing to pay the price. Not with luck, not with shortcuts, with execution. Get up early. Stay up late. Block out noise. Read what others ignore. Invest in what others fear. Work when others sleep. Study when others scroll. Act when others wait. Not because it's easy, but because it's required. This is the cost of freedom, the cost of owning your life, the cost of building wealth that doesn't just bless you, but generations after you. And let this be the line in the sand. From this moment forward, you don't work for money. You work for mission. You work for mastery. You work to become so damn valuable that money chases you. You don't need luck. You don't need pity. You don't even need motivation. You just need a reason that's bigger than your excuses. And if you've got that, if your why is sacred, then your how becomes relentless. Because when you work hard toward wealth with clarity, with hunger, with honor, there is no force on earth that can stop you. Then stand still for a moment, not to pause, but to lock in. Because what I'm about to say isn't just the end of a speech. It's the beginning of a revolution inside you. If you want wealth, true wealth, you have to stop asking for it and start earning it. Not by working harder than everyone else, but by becoming the one who never stops. You become the standard, the example, the quiet storm that builds in silence and arrives in force. You wake up each morning and whisper, I don't need it easy. I just need it mine. You wipe the doubt from your face and lace up the mindset of a millionaire in motion. Because wealth is not a reward for the gifted. It's the inevitable result of alignment between who you are and who you refuse to die without becoming. The late nights are yours. The early mornings yours. The discipline, the discomfort, the daily choices, no one sees yours. And because of that, so is the freedom. So is the power. So is the legacy. You are not tired. You are tapping in. You are not stuck. You are loading greatness. You are not lost. You are building the map one decision at a time. So no more waiting, no more wishing, no more craving a life that can only be created. Create it. Wake up and move like the person you're here to be. Speak like it. Think like it. Work like it. Walk like your name belongs on buildings. Speak like your blood carries royalty. Act like your family's freedom depends on what you do today. Because it does. You are not chasing wealth anymore. You are becoming wealth. So build every day, every hour, every rep, every breath. Build like the world has no idea what's coming. Because it doesn't. But you do. You know exactly who you are. And from this moment forward, the world will know it too. The pain you feel right now, it's not punishment. It's potential knocking. But most people hear the knock and run the other way. They say, why is this so hard? They say, I just wish it were easier. But here's the truth. The goal was never for life to be easy. The goal was to become stronger. Wishing for easy is the anthem of the uncommitted. It is the lullaby of the lost. Because life will never hand you peace. Life hands you pressure. And it's your response to that pressure that defines you. You don't build power in comfort. You build it in the forge. You build it in the struggle. You build it when everything in you wants to quit and you keep going anyway. So stop wishing for things to get lighter. Start lifting heavier. Stop praying for the rain to stop. Learn to dance in it. Stop begging for the road to smooth out. Grow boots tough enough to march it anyway. Because the truth is simple. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just becoming. And becoming hurts. Becoming requires fire. Not to destroy you, to refine you. But you have to want it. Want it more than comfort. More than safety. More than the opinions of those who gave up on their own dreams. You have to want growth more than ease. Because ease is a liar. It promises peace and delivers emptiness. But growth gives you something nothing else can, becoming unstoppable. It begins in the mind. Everything you are, everything you're not, everything you could be, it all begins in the silent war happening inside your head. Do you tell yourself, I can't do this? Or do you say, I will find a way? Do you shrink when it gets heavy? Or do you rise and say, this is what I was built for? Your mindset is not a luxury. It is your foundation. And if that foundation is cracked by excuses, it will collapse under pressure. But if that foundation is fortified with discipline, with purpose, with vision, then no storm can shake you. Every time you choose growth over ease, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you say no to distraction, no to delay, no to the voice inside that whispers, take the shortcut, you carve character into your soul. And that character, that relentless, unbreakable character, becomes the armor you wear through life. You see, discipline is not deprivation. It is devotion. Devotion to your future self. Devotion to the version of you that's waiting on the other side of hard things. Because there is no victory without sacrifice. No glory without grind. No transformation without tenacity. And tenacity doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up early. It stays late. It does the work even when no one's watching. Most people don't lose to failure. They lose to fatigue, to boredom, to the seductive comfort of good enough. But you are not most people. You are the few, the rare, the relentless, the one who doesn't fold when it gets dark, but sharpens your vision to see through it. Because vision is not something you stumble into. It's something you build. You build it when you stop living by what you feel and start living by what you know. And what you know is this: the most powerful force on earth is not talent, not money, not luck. It's a human being who refuses to quit. So don't ask for it to be easy. Ask to be exceptional. Not someday, not when you feel like it, but today, right now, in this breath. Build the habits, do the work, repeat the reps, raise your standards, reclaim your time, because every day you wish for ease is a day you lose to average. But every day you choose to grow even 1% is a day you become someone no storm can stop. Because this is not just motivation. This is the sound of your old life dying and your new self awakening. You see, the difference between where you are and where you could be is not a miracle. It's not some cosmic alignment. It's not luck or fate or a perfect set of circumstances. It's discipline. It's focus. It's how many times you're willing to say no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's worth it. You don't need everything to go right. You just need to go forward. Every time you choose the higher road, every time you do what others avoid, you are carving a life that most people will never touch. Not because they couldn't, but because they wouldn't. They wanted it easy. But you wanted to be better. And that desire, that rare, sacred desire to become instead of escape, that's where transformation begins. Because there's a war going on inside you between the version of you that seeks comfort and the version of you that seeks conquest. The question is, which voice will you listen to? One says, just rest a little longer. The other says, get up. We've got work to do. One says, take a break, no one's watching. The other says, act like the whole world is depending on this moment. One says, this is too much. The other says, this is just enough to make you stronger. And every time you choose the second voice, every time you push when it hurts, stay when it's boring, rise when you fall, you are not just improving, you are ascending. This isn't about motivation anymore. It's about alignment. You are aligning your thoughts with action, your action with purpose, your purpose with power. And that power is not loud. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't post. It doesn't boast. It builds. It builds in the silence, in the sweat, in the sacrifices nobody sees. You are not becoming great by accident. You are becoming great by decision. And that decision to stop wishing it were easier and start demanding more from yourself. That is the dividing line. That's where everything changes, where life stops happening to you and starts happening through you. So burn the list of excuses. Delete the fantasy of the easy way. Set fire to the version of you that only shows up when it feels good. And rise. Rise like the entire weight of your destiny depends on it. Because it does. You weren't put here to coast. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't created to cope. You were born to conquer, to face the mountain, to walk through the storm, to train your soul in the furnace of adversity, until there is nothing left inside you but steel and fire and the unshakable knowing that you will not be denied. So don't ever again wish for things to come easy. Wish with every breath, with every fiber, with every sunrise, to be better than you were yesterday. Because when you get better, everything gets better. Because here's the part most won't accept. Growth hurts. Evolution is brutal. Becoming the next version of you means killing the current one. Not softly, not gently, with surgical force. You don't stumble into greatness. You sacrifice for it. You bleed for it. You die to comfort 1,000 times for it. And that pain, that tension between where you are and where you could be, that is sacred. It is not something to escape. It is something to enter. Because the man or woman you were born to be is buried under layers of fear, laziness, validation, addiction, and excuses. And the only way to find them is to dig. Dig when you're tired. Dig when you're doubting. Dig when everything in you says stop and your soul whispers, keep going. Because every day you dig, you get closer to the gold. Not the kind you spend, but the kind you become. Let me say this with fire in my lungs. You don't get rich in life by chasing money. You get rich by building value. And value is built when you build yourself. You build value by showing up when no one's clapping, by doing the hard thing when no one's watching, by becoming so consistent, so focused, so intentional that the world has to take notice because your results are louder than any words you could ever say. You want to live on your terms? Then build the kind of character that deserves that freedom. You want to walk in rooms and shift the energy? Then build the kind of presence forged in early mornings, late nights, sacrifices that make no sense to others, and standards that most will call too much. Good. Let them. You're not here to fit in. You're here to rise. You're here to become a force of nature. The kind of person whose habits are stronger than emotion, whose vision is bigger than the obstacles, whose mind is harder than the mountain. Because when you stop wishing for easy and start living like your life is on the line every single day, you become undeniable. Not overnight, but over hundreds of ordinary days stacked with extraordinary effort. So if today is hard, good, let it break you open. Let it burn the excuses. Let it teach you how much more you are capable of. Because with every rep, with every early wake up, with every temptation you reject, you are building something the weak can't even imagine. And one day, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll smile because they'll never understand. You didn't pray for ease. You prayed for strength. And then you built it with your bare hands. You became the answer. You became the proof. You became the fire. Understand this. You don't get remembered for what you avoided. You get remembered for what you endured, for what you overcame, for what you became in the middle of the pressure. When every voice said stop and your soul screamed, not yet. Because here's the truth that will outlive us all. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is the one within. It's not the economy. It's not your upbringing. It's not your past. It's the moment you stare into the mirror and decide that who you've been is no longer enough, that the comfort zone has become a cage, and that the only way out is through the fire. You can't cheat the process. You can't shortcut greatness. You can't hack becoming unstoppable. It's earned, one brutal, beautiful, relentless step at a time. So stop asking for signs. You are the sign. Stop waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle if you choose to wake up and walk like it. Because no one is coming to make it easier. No one is coming to do the work for you. But the day you stop wishing for it to be easier and instead start becoming the person who can handle the hard, that's the day the whole game changes. The path doesn't get smoother. You get stronger. The weights don't get lighter. You get more powerful. The challenges don't disappear, but you stop fearing them because you realize every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Every delay is a setup for greater depth. Every loss is sharpening your blade. And one day, you'll look back and smile, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. You'll see how every early morning, every tear you didn't post, every moment you chose discipline over distraction, built something sacred, a life of integrity, a spirit of fire, and a mind that doesn't just survive, it commands. So remember this every single day. You don't need life to hand you anything. You just need to wake up and ask more from yourself. More focus, more heart, more consistency, more courage. Because you're not in competition with anyone else. You're in a war with the version of you that settles. And that version loses today because you're done wishing. You're done waiting. You're done hoping for a softer world. You're building yourself to handle the one that exists. And that is where freedom begins. That is where power is born. That is when life finally says, now you're ready. So go. Live like your life is a masterpiece in progress. Think like the world is being built through you. Act like every step matters because it does. And rise, not for ease, but for greatness.